And now we're moving on to part 2 of the Sikha. The first part of the Sikha, just to give a quick recap, was that the Rebbe Rashab cried, why is it that the Eibishter revealed himself to Avraham Avinu, but to me Hashem did not reveal himself? And so Tzaddik responded, when a Yid is 90, when a Yid, a Tzaddik, decides at the age of 99 that he wants to give himself a bris, that's good. That's a reason why the Eibishter would reveal himself to someone. The Rebbe questioned it. Seemingly the story is more discouraging than encouraging, because you're telling me that only a Yid, a Tzaddik, when the age of 99 and so on, only he's shaykh. What about us? There's no way we're going to get to that level. And even the Rebbe Rashab Kiviyachol was crying that he was not on that level. So for sure, us regular, ordinary people, what is the story supposed to be telling us? That we have no shaykhs to Gilui of vayera of Hashem? Says the Rebbe, meaning the Rebbe's explanation of the story is, and this is of course a summary, that the facts are that every single Yid, since Avraham Avinu, every single Yid, since the concept of a bris came into the world, every single Yid, even those which did not get a bris, even women, because halachically they're considered that they have the gather of getting keman de mihili damu, they're considered like they have a bris, and therefore, says the Rebbe, the facts are, since Avraham Avinu's bris, every single Yid has a vayera of Hashem, in the sense that there's a mitzias, there's an existence of the Eibishter in every single Yid. Meaning, there's his neshama, which is a part of Hashem, chelik elokami mal mamish. Now, based on this, we understand what was bothering the Rebbe Rashab. The Rebbe Rashab is saying, I know that I have a neshama, and the fact that I know that I have a neshama is what causes me to have a yearning to see it vividly, to experience it in a mamish revealed way. So that's why he's crying. So this tzaddik responded, oh, true, you have a metzius of elokus within you, you have a neshama. You want to have a gilui of the neshama. If you want to have a gilui of the neshama, for that you actually have to have a vayda poel. You have to actually work on yourself. What kind of a vayda? The vayda of a bris. What's the idea of a bris? Taking something physical and revealing the Eibishter in it. When a Yid comes and he takes, whether it's any limb of his body or any part of the world that he's involved with, and makes sure to reveal Hashem in it, that is how eventually a person comes to a point of vayera of Hashem, that Hashem is not just does he have the metzias of the neshama within him, but he's going to actually be able to experience it, to feel it. One very, very important nekuda is the pattern. The pattern is, there's a idea that I have the mitzius, in other words, is the awareness that I have the existence of Elokus within me. Step 2 is the fact that I know that I have it within me causes by me a yearning that now I really want to experience and to feel that existence in a revealed way. And step 3, of course, is when I'm going to do something about it. So because I'm aware that it's there, therefore I have a passion. Because I have a passion, therefore I'm going to do something about it. What am I going to do about it? That's what the Rebbe explained in the first half of the Sikha. And of course, the fourth step is the actual revelation Techuf Miyad Mamish. So remember this pattern as we go into the second part of the Sikha. Ois Yud Aleph. V'yesh dehisif v'chol zeh b'kesher v'shayachos la'giula amitis v'ashlema al yidei moshiach titkenu. We could connect all the above to the giula amitis v'ashlema, which is going to happen, of course, through Mashiach. One of the essential, most fundamental promises regarding the times of the Geula is that our teachers will not be concealed from us. Our eyes will see our teachers, referring, of course, primarily to the Eibishter, which, and of course, Chassidim, we already interpreted that it's talking about the Rebbe, that the Rebbe, finally we're going to see. But the Nekuda over here in this context, in the simple pshat is, we're going to see the Eibishter. In other words, vayera of Hashem in the ultimate way. Furthermore, says the Rebbe, "V'niglak for the vayera kol basar goymer lo yirak any basar ela habasar atzmei v'chol basar." It says, "Rokul basar," the all flesh, is flesh, will see the Eibishter. The Rebbe's medayik very interesting do because that it doesn't say just any basar. It doesn't just say that the fleshike, the physical eyes will see the Eibishter, but it says that the basar, the actual meat, in other words, the actual physical world is going to reveal the Eibishter in it. That's the idea of Chai Mar Cheshvan, that the Chai, the Neshama, the Eibishter is revealed where, even in Mar Cheshvan, even in the ordinary day-to-day life. Mar Cheshvan represents the month, as the Rebbe explained at length in the first part of the Sikha, that after Tishrei, Yomim Tevim, ordinary month, in the Africa there's a Chai, the Africa there's a Gili of the Eibishter. V'shayach gam lechav Mar Cheshvan, b'chinas haKeser shekasher minin hagiyul, is also connected to Chav Mar Cheshvan, which Chav is the idea of Keser, as we explained, which is connected to the idea of malchus. She'le'asid lavit is gala malchus she'kadosh baruch hu chav b'chol elam kulei Mar Cheshvan k'may shekasuv ze havayim lechilam vayed la'asid lavit she'kol menucha sheloi. Keser and malchus are interconnected. We're not going to go fully into the explanation of why they're connected now in this platform, but the nekuda is that Chav Mar Cheshvan is connected to the idea of malchus, the idea of Melech HaMashiach, where of course Hashem's malchus will be revealed everywhere in the world. What the Rebbe just did was the Rebbe connected vayera of Hashem, Chai Mar Cheshvan, and Chav Cheshvan to the Geula Amitis Vashlema, where there's going to be the ultimate revelation of vayera of Hashem, the ultimate idea of Chai coming into Mar Cheshvan, and the ultimate idea of Chav Keser, which is connected to the Malchus, which is the Malchus of the Geula Amitis Vashlema. So Chav Mar Cheshvan is connected to the Geula Amitis Vashlema. Now that we're going to move on to the core of the explanation that we went over in the first part of the Sikha, to develop it, how that pattern actually is true regarding the Geula Amitis Vashlema. ועל פי האמור לעיל שהמציאות דביירה אל השם קיימת תמיד אצל כל אחד ואחד מישראל וצריכים רק לפעול שהמציאות זו תהיה בהסגלוס. According to the above mentioned, that the metius, in other words, the existence of the Eibishter is present within every single yid. All we have to do is to be poil, is to accomplish that. It should be revealed. יש לומר שכן גם בנוגע להשלמות דברי אל השם שבגאולה אמיתית והשלמה על ידי משיח בצדקנו. So we could say that same thing goes in regards to vayera el Hashem with the גאולה אמיתית והשלמה through Mashiach. Same pattern regarding Malach HaMashiach. ידוע שבכל אחד ואחד מישראל יש ניצוץ מנשמת משיח. We know that every single yid has a spark of Mashiach within him. מבחינת היחידה. Sheinitzas b'pchinas yechida klali sheinitzas Mashiach, which there's a certain level within every single yid, certain level of the neshama, the level of yechida, which is a part of the neshama of Mashiach. We could give a whole shir to explain what that means, but for now we'll suffice with reading it simply. That's why every single yid is referred to as a star, Keichov, because that is Mashiach. That Keichov is a reference to Mashiach, and every yid has a part of Mashiach within him. So we could refer to every single yid as a Keichov. As a Keichov. Where do we see that Mashiach is called a Keichov? Shneimar Allah Derech Keichov Miyakov, the famous nevuah of Bilam, refers to Derech Keichov Miyakov. A star will come up. Who's the star? Mashiach. This is especially true regarding little children. As Chazal say, the Moshiach this is talking about little kids. So in other words, the little kids have the most revealed how they are part of Mashiach. They're even called Mashiach. The Yeshleimar שבחינת היחידה, ניצוץ משיח, היא בהסגלוס יצא אל תינוקס, כיוון שהכרס הפנימיים אינם בהסגלו כל כך, ולכן גם הקרוסם והאלוקוס בעצמוס יסבורך כנ"ל סעיף זין. We could say, says the Rebbe, that little kids actually have this Nitzos Mashiach more revealed within them than adults. And the reason is because little children don't have Kirchas Pnimim distracting them, unlike the adults that do have Kirchas Pnimim. In this context, of course, means understanding of different levels and being extra sophisticated. And little kids know that there's Mashiach and we're connected to Mashiach, and that's it. Adults have to start getting complicated. Yeah, but what does it mean, Mashiach? And what does it mean we're part of it? Which, of course, is an important process to go through. After all, we are Chabad. Things do have to come down to Chachma Bina and Das. But not to confuse the main point with the side points. We have to understand, but all for the sake of experiencing and connecting to the core reality and idea. And little kids get that directly, and they satisfy with that. Us adults, we also get that directly, but we don't satisfy with that. So we need to understand things, which is a good thing. It's a way of bringing and downloading the experience into our practical life. But nevertheless, we have to keep our eyes on the goal, on the centerpiece, which of course in this context is Mashiach. So Rebbe is bringing out the mile of little children over adults, which Rebbe explained at length in Sif Zayin. The way we reveal this Nitzos Mashiach within us is through fulfilling our shluchos that we receive from the Eibishter. As we know famously, the word Mashiach is begimatria, as the same numerical value as shliach plus 10. So if you take the word shliach and you add another 10, that's what makes the word Mashiach instead of shliach. What this means in Avodah is that when a shliach uses his tenkachis and nefesh to fulfill his shluchos, that is what's going to legalos etzanizim Mashiach shabai. That's what's going to reveal the nitus Mashiach within him, and Be'ez Hashem, of course, in the whole world. It's going to penetrate his physical body, everything that he has to do within the physical world. Eventually, through uniting all the sparks of Mashiach within every single yid, that's how we're going to actually reach the Geula, Mashiach Tzidkenu. That's what's going to cause it. There's going to be a Gilui of Elokus in every single yid, which is the idea of vayera. It love Hashem. It love means the yidden. And Chai Mar Cheshvan, even the world, even the Mar Cheshvan, the ordinary things, are going to have a Gilui of the Eibishter in it. Okay. Says the Rebbe, the truth is, this is the Ikar Yidah from parashat vayera. Shekol echad ve'echad miYisrael tzarich lishtekek b'yoser lahagilui de vayera elav Hashem v'gula amitis v'ashlema. Every single yid needs to yearn, have a tremendous yearning to the revelation of the Eibishter. When? Which type of revelation? In the Geula Amitis V'Ashlema. So it's not just that I have a neshama and I really want to experience it. Furthermore, we have over here an atom bomb. We have over here the ability of revealing the Eibishter. Not just an ability, the Rebbe is going to develop it further in a moment. But what the Rebbe's point is going to be is that we already have if until now we spoke on a micro level, that I have a neshama within me and I could experience it. So I want to experience it because it's still here already. Same thing is regarding the world. The Geula Amitis V'Ashlema in the whole world. There's already the energy of the Geula. I don't know if energy is the right word, but let's use it for now. There's already the energy of the Geula in the world. There's already the effects of Mashiach in the world. And everybody's going to take it even more extreme. We already have the Metzius of Mashiach in the world. All we have to do is to have a yearning. Not all we have to do, but the awareness of the fact that this is present, this is here. That is what wakes us to have a tremendous ishtek, a tremendous yearning. That I want it. It's already here. It's a matter of just opening up our eyes. I want to just open up my eyes. So what's the idea of parashat vayera? L'ishtekek b'yoset, have a tremendous yearning. And of course, remembering the pattern, what's the next step after becoming aware that it's here, and after having a yearning to be aware, to have a full revelation of what's here? The next step is, of course, ma'aseh b'poel, to actually do whatever I can in order to have that gilui. These two next two lines are unbelievable. We could spend the whole night fabraying just about these two lines. Through making sure that every single action that a person does, meaning every person thinking about himself, makes sure that every action that he does is done in a way that's befitting a state of being of the Geula Amitis V'Ashlema. I'm drinking a coffee, I'm eating a chocolate, I'm taking a walk, I'm going shopping, when I'm sitting and I'm learning Torah, I'm davening. How would I be doing these things when Moshiach comes? What would be my perspective on the chocolate when Moshiach comes? Stam to gribble zich with the taivos, or to, I don't know, elevate the sparks, look at it as an opportunity to reveal Hashem in another physical thing. What's going to be my perspective when Mashiach comes? Every single action that I do to Pasha, ask myself, how will I look at this when Mashiach comes? Now, in order to know how we're going to look at things when Mashiach comes, we have to learn a lot about Mashiach. We have to be fully geared in our mind to know how to process the reality of the world the way it was going to look when Mashiach comes. But the goal of doing that, at least in the context of the Sikha, is to be able to start living that already now. To start already now, doing whatever I can to have a vayera of Hashem, to reveal Hashem. On that note, we'll take a seilacha on coffee. We made a bracha already. L'chaim. That was a moshiach take a coffee, nothing less. Yoisid base. And this is especially true in the recent generations. Not just especially true, it's especially relevant. And Derek refers to it as the ilui. We got some sort of upgrade. If this was across the board of the history, always to know the Geulah in the world, we always have to reveal it. Says that, but now we upgraded that in our generations. שנסגרת הסגולה המיוחדת של כף מרחשוון, שמסברך משעבס פרשת ויירה חי מרחשוון, בהולדת אדמון שמו סיידם ביום זה, בשנס כסר א', שבאי מזעלי גייבר. This is, in the recent generations, was Nisgal, it was revealed to us this tremendous gula, the tremendous uniqueness, the treasure of the day Chaf Mar Cheshvan. Until the Rebbe Rashab was born, what was Chaf Mar Cheshvan? It was a random day on the calendar. Kiviyachol. Suddenly came Chaf Mar Cheshvan, and the Rebbe Rashab is born. And Mazali gave her. So the Rebbe Rashab's Mazal is being gave her. So now the Rebbe is going to start analyzing a little bit, a short biography, quote unquote, of the Rebbe Rashab to appreciate what does it mean that the Rebbe Rashab was born? What does it mean that Mazali gave her? If we're going to understand who the Rebbe Rashab is, at least a little bit, something about him, and we're going to understand that Mazali gave her, his Mazal is extra strong on Chaf Mar Cheshvan, suddenly we understand what kind of again, energy is the wrong word, but what kind of potential, what kind of koyach this day has that only if we would only tap into it, we would be different people. From the main things that the Rebbe Rashab did, and this is something which he noticed already when he was a child, as Chazal say that pumpkins, when they're small, you could already see what shape they're going to look like when they're going to be bigger. So right now they're small, so when they're going to be huge, but from the shape of it, when it's small, you already know what it's going to look like when it's going to be big. And so too with people in this context of the Rebbe Rashab. Already from a young age, you could already see what he's going to look like when he gets older. Since he was a child, and much more so when he got older, and of course when he became a Nasi B'Yisrael, became the Rebbe, is his tremendous effort, his unique effort in the inyan of vayera of Hashem. Parashat, the revelation of Hashem. Loi rak b'negea le'atzmai, not just in regards to himself, elagam etzel kol echad v'echad miYisrael, but also to reveal Hashem by every single yid. You see this is emphasizing the fact that what he should open the yeshiva. What was the goal of this yeshiva? שלומדים בה תורת הנגלה ותורת החסידות תמימה ובאופן שלימוד תורת החסידות הוא בעיון הטוב להבינה ולהסביר לעצמם כלימוד הסוגיות בגלל שבתורה. In this yeshiva, they learn Teiras Nigla and Teiras Chassidus, a complete Torah, and they learn it well. And they learn Chassidus in such a thorough way, just like they learn Nigla. In other words, a person learns Nigla. Nigla means we're talking about worldly things. Stones, cows, physical objects that I have a complete. Two people argue. It's things that I could relate to, and I have a complete. I could vividly picture it. I could picture a cow. I could picture two people. I could picture two people in court or whatever it is. Only for good things, Bezos Hashem, of course. But when a person learns Chassidus, by mistake, a person could learn Chassidus. Or this mistake is most relevant when a person learns Kabbalah. Is to learn it in a way of Atzilus, Bria. These things are just words for me. I don't really get it. So you see, so my Nigla is not like my Chassidus. I mean, you could come to a point that the Nigla and the Chassidus are two different kind of learning. By Nigla, when I learn it, I really understand it. Chassidus is words, so it's like a matching game. In Atzilus, there's 10 spheres, and everything is just words. Of course, the goal was to change that perspective on Chassidus, to change not just perspective, to change that way of learning Chassidus, Not that people learned like that in the past, but the point is that the way Chassidus was taught in Timchet Mimim is to learn Chassidus like Nigla. That when I learn Chassidus, it should be vivid. I'm learning about Atzilus, about the 10 Sfiros, about Keser, about Ak. Whatever I'm learning, it has to be vivid in my mind, it has to be clear, it has to be defined, it has to be understood. Of course, as much as a physical human being could understand, and so on. But that's the way they learn Chassidus. Shechassidus evinu k'meishim evinim inyan benigla. Chassidus should be understood the way we can understand the word of nigla, as we just explained what that means, at least somewhat. That's when a person comes to a point of vayera Hashem that he's able to see the Eibishter, at least with his mind, because he's learning so much about the Eibishter. The Eibishter is becoming so clear to him that at least with his mind, he's becoming more and more attached to who? To the Eibishter, to seeing the Eibishter with his mind. Furthermore, this is a preparation for the Geula Amitis Vashlema, not just right now during Golus. Does the Rebbe shall allow us, through being in Timchet Mimim and through Chassidus, to see the Eibishter with our mind? This is also a preparation for the Geula Amitis Vashlema. That's when our learning of Chassidus will be in a complete way. We're going to finally actually see what we're learning. As it says, the Eibishter will kiss us, as it says, kisses with his mouth. In other words, the mouth represents a very deep part of the person being revealed. And as well as the words will be pel pe, mouth to mouth. In other words, the deepest type of intimate relationship between us and the Eibishter. Because Torah Chadasha will come out of the Eibishter, from the Eibishter himself. People are not going to have to learn from each other, because everyone's going to know the Eibishter in a direct, personal way. Everyone's going to see the Eibishter. That clarifies that it's not just we're going to know Hashem with our mind, and now we could see the Eibishter through the Chassidus. What does it mean we could see the Eibishter? It means we could really, our mind could have such a clear picture. When moshiach comes, we're going to see it. Parashat. We're going to wake up in the morning and we're going to see the Eibishter, Melech, Malchei, Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Vayera, Ha'olam U'Manhigay. We're going to see the Eibishter. It's amazing. What a reality. What a life. So the point is, the Rebbe Rashab, again, we're going through the Rebbe Rashab's life. And we're saying that the Rebbe Rashab, life is maybe the wrong word, but we're going through the Rebbe Rashab's, one of the things that he kochten very much. Vayera Elav Hashem, sign for himself, sign for the people around him. It's emphasized especially in the yeshivas of Timchet Mimim, which part of the chiddush of Timchet Mimim was that they sit down, till today of course, sitting down, learning chassidus in a vivid way, seeing Elokus in a vivid way with their mind. Furthermore, says the Rebbe, it's not just a micro vayera of Hashem, rather it's a hachana for the Geula Hamitis Vashlema, where we will see Hashem everywhere in the world. This idea that learning Chassidus is a hachana for the Geula Hamitis Vashlema is also emphasized in the Rebbe Rashav's own speech in the inauguration of Timchet Mimim. The Rebbe Rashav has a famous sikha where he says that the Tmimim, the learned Timchet Mimim, are considered to be Chayali Beis David. They are the they are the soldiers of the army of Melech HaMashiach, David Malchus Mashiach. And their job is to fight those who those who mock and make fun and so on and so forth, or just simply are not aware of the Geula of Mashiach. And the avoid of the Tmimim is to fight them. Chas v'shalom, not fighting the way people understand it. Fighting, as the Rebbe says, fighting in this context means to conquer through, of course, love and everything, but with information and with bringing and learning together and so on and so forth. Or as the Rambam himself writes, the Melech HaMashiach is going to fight the wars of Hashem. Doesn't mean that she doesn't come with a sword and fight with people. What it means is that he's going to Pashut through talking and bringing and so on and so forth. He's going to Pashut transform people's perspective, and in other words, battle their perspective, battle their mindset to be a Moshiach mindset. To the point that he's going to win, to be victorious. כמלומד גם בהמשך הכסובים, דאשר חרפו ישיג משיחך, ברוך השם לעולם אמן ואמן, שאמן, ואחס כמה וכמה בייס פעמים אמן, מידע על ניצחון במלחמה, שעל איזה נעשי בייס בגיל דוד מלכה משיחה בפעל ממש. It says clearly in the pasuk right there in Tehillim when it says "Shechef Yisrael," and then finish off by saying "Baruch Hashem Le'olam Amen ve'Amen." This will be ultimate victory. Okay, so the can we see that the Rebbe Rashab considers, excuse me, the Rebbe Rashab considers the Tmimim Chazmimim to be those who fight and battle the war of David Malka Mashiach, to reveal Moshiach in the world, and on the contrary, to fight, in other words, to inspire and to uplift those who don't believe in Moshiach and mock Moshiach and so on. So we see that this vision of vayera of Hashem, of the Rebbe Rashab, was a through and through vision, side during Galus to Chassidus, and side as a Achana for the Gula Amitis Vashlema, to the point of Nitzeach, of having the Gula Amitis Vashlema. Excuse me. This is especially true in our generation. Especially true in this third generation. The Rebbe Hashem, of course, being the first generation, the Frierdiker Rebbe being the second, and our Rebbe being the third. So this is especially true regarding the third generation. From the Rebbe Hashem, with the Talmid of Chayil Beis David, שבהם מסתיימת ונשלמת עבודתם של חייל בית דוד לאביס הגאולה. בפועל ממש על ידי דוד מלכה משיחה. In our third generation is when we finish and we complete the job of חייל בית דוד during the גאולה בפועל ממש, as through David Malka Mashiach. In other words, the Rebbe is assuring us, you should know that our third generation, our avodah of being Chayal Beis David and fighting the war of David, Malka Mashiach, this war is going to be complete in our generation. As the Frierdiker Rebbe already said during his lifetime, which is before Tafshin Yud, the previous Doir, the avodah was already finished and was already complete. We're parashat standing ready to be mekabel Melech HaMashiach. והלחץ כמה וכמה. לאחר המשך העבודה דחל בית דוד בהפץ סמיון ישחוצה. במשך 40 שנה. באופן שנעשה אנשים לכם לבדס ועיניים לירס וזדם לשמוע. Especially, they're talking, if that was true, but if you think of his times, the past 40 years, says the Rebbe Stashon based, right? 40 years plus, that we already have the idea of einayim liros v'einayim lishmoya. After 40 years, finally a student's mind is starts seeing things and understanding things like the teacher. In other words, the eye starts opening up, and so on and so forth. The ears start hearing properly, and so on and so forth. So the point is, for sure, we're already in a point where we're not just we're worthy, but we're ready for the Geulah Amitis Vashlema. We're already holding the 90th year. Of course, the Rebbe is referring to his own birthday, meaning to his own age. We already finished the year of 89, which is connected to Kapitel Peites. Kapitel Peites is the capital that says this famous line that we've been talking about in the past few paragraphs. But says the Rebbe, now, finally, we already finished with the Kapitel Peites. We finished with the war. We're holding a Tzaddik. We're moving on to next capital, next avodah, the avodah of Gemar Nitzachon and Milchames Beis David. We're already holding the avodah of the finishing of the war. In other words, we already finished the war and we're already holding by the victory. ומתחיל התקופה שהיחס למזמור צדק, שסיום וחסמי, ועיניים השם אלוקינו עלינו, מעשה ידינו כהננו, דקאי על בית המקדש לעשית, מקדש עד כהננו ידיך, we're holding my capital tzaddik, which finishes off with the word that Hashem should be kehenu עלינו, מעשה ידינו כהננו. The Rebbe explains in a Sicha Tzav Tafshin Aleph. The Rebbe explains about Arichos what these psukim mean and how they refer to the Geulah Amitis Vashlema, which is the ultimate level of Hashem. Koinenu Aleinu and Koinenu, how the Eibush is revealed in the world and in the people of the world, and so on. So the point is, we're already upgraded to the next avodah. We're already finished with the avodah of Cherfu Yikush and the fighting. That we're already done with. We're already holding the avodah of Kabbalah's Pnei Mashiach Tzidkenu. Or in the Rebbe's words, Ein dem Muchanim the Kabbalah's David Malka Mashiach. Uvishnas HaTzadik nimtzayin var b'shnas Tafshin Nun Beis, Teshnas Nifas Bakel, where we're holding the year Tafshin Nun Beis, which stands for it should be a year of miracles and everything. Now, what's Niflois exactly? So we translated it loosely to mean miracles, but says that Rabbi Niflois Karya Niflois Segula Asida. Niflois, in a more precise way, refers to which type of miracles or wonders, the wonders of the Geulah Amitis Vashlema. As it says, K'moshe Kasuv Ki Meites Cham Eretz Mitzrayim Areinu Niflois. that it says in the pasuk that the same type of niflois that I showed you in Lat Mitzrayim, I will show you those same type of wonders when Mashiach comes. So you see the word niflois refers to the Geula Amitis Vashlema. Oh, so this has niflois, Bakel means it should be the year of Mashiach taking miracles and everything. V'yesh leimar shekai gam al Torah chadash delasi lavei. This is also referring to niflois. Is not just referring to stam miracles, but also to the level of Torah which will be revealed when Mashiach comes. Pnimius Torah shenikras chen shetev is chachma nisteres v'shleimar shepirush gam chachma niflo. Chen stands for, usually it says, like for example, in Alter Ben Tanya it says many times, chen. What's chen? Which those words mean as it's known to those who know chen. Now what's chen? Usually it refers to as chachma nisteres, the hidden chachma, referring to Kabbalah and so on. But it could also be interpreted as chesnun chachma nifla. Oh, so you see that nifla, in other words, as the wisdom which is nifla, which is nifla literally means exalted, higher, wondrous. So you see that niflois refers to not just the type of miracles, but also the level of Torah. Chachma nifla, the level of chachma, which will be revealed when Mashiach comes. And the reason why why this level of Torah is called nifla, chachma nifla, is because it's nifla. It's nifla literally means exalted, removed, higher than the level of Torah the way we have it now these days in Galus. We're going to have miracles and everything, as it says regarding the Avis. It says Hashem Berachas Avram Bakoil, right? We said that Shchodesh after Halal. What's Bakoil? According to one opinion, it means he had a daughter. But what's Bakoil means simply? It means in everything. Parashat, but what it's referring to is that the Eibashter Iman Me'ina Lam Haba. The Eibashter gives them a taste of Mashiach's times. In other words, the Avos lived in a Mashiach-dik reality already, even while they were in this physical world. So meaning the Avos experienced the Shlemus of Lasid Lavei. Uvishnas Tavshinun Beis Nimtzayin Kvar B'Shnas Parshas Vayera. Shemidgeshes Shaychos Legula Amitis V'Shlemus Shemayeh Shlemus Agilu De Vayera Lav Hashem Lekol Echad V'Echad MiYisrael. Within the Tavshinun Beis, as the Rebbe were already holding in Parshas Vayera, which emphasizes even more the connection to the Geula Amitis V'Shlema, which is going to happen where Vayera Lav Hashem is going to happen in a complete way. V'Kiviyusu B'Chai Bar Cheshvan Shabayra Alam Shachas Yiz Galas Achayis Chai Eliki B'Chol Inyan Ha'elam She'eskim B'Hem B'Chodesh Mar Cheshvan, which falls out to be Tavshinun Beis. That's already, wow, that's a crazy year, as the Rebbe explained why. And it is Parshas Vayera. Wow, that's Moshiach Dik Vayera Elav Hashem, Mamash Tigula of Hashem, and that's also happening at Chai Mar Cheshvan, which is Mamash the idea of the Gula bringing Chai into Mar Cheshvan and Lakos into the ordinary world. Sheshlemusay leAchre Anitzachon Hashecherfik Gus Mashiach Baruch Hashem leElam Amen V'Amin Ki Besium V'Chaisam Mashir Tehillim Diyayim Chai B'Chaydash. And the ultimate is, of course, when we come to the victory, the ultimate victory over those who cherf Gus Mashiach. V'tech Gimel Yomim. And this is within 3 days to Chaf Mar Cheshvan, which Chaf Mar Cheshvan refers to Keser, Chaf, Keser, and as well as the 20. In Hebrew, how you say 20 is, Chaf is 20, right? So how do you say 20 in Hebrew? Esrim. Esrim is Bekimatria. Keser. Point is, Chaf represents the idea of Keser. Keser is the idea of a crown, the idea of a kingship, which is, of course, the kingship of the Eibashter, which will be revealed when Moshiach comes. Says the Rebbe. So now, this paragraph basically summarized and tied everything, the parasha and the year and the dates of the month and the date of the month which is coming up to the Geula Hamitis Vashlema. We could add that being the Chodesh Mar Cheshvan is the first month of actual Avodah in the world after Tishrei. It also includes the upcoming months. So Chaf Mar Cheshvan actually includes in it the Chafs of the upcoming months. First of all, Kesed Chodesh Kislev. It includes Chav Kislev, Shesiyum B'mei Chanukah, Chanukah's Mizbeach v'Mikdash, V'Nes Hashemen, which Kislev is the end of Kislev is Chanukah, which is connected to Chanukah's Mizbeach, Chanukah's Mikdash. The miracle of the oil, Shekasher Gavim Pnimis HaTorah, Shemen Shabbat Torah, Shenizgat of Tosach Silas B'Chodesh Kislev, which of course the miracle of the oil is famously connected to the idea of Chassidus. Oil represents the secrets of the Torah, the Chassidus, which is of course revealed especially on Kislev, Yutes Kislev. Then it includes also includes not just the Chaf of Kislev, but the of Chodesh Teves. Yerach shaguf ne'enu min aguf, shalem is alano, the aguf shelamayla, yesh ha'amiti, me'aguf shelamata yesh ha'nivra. It also includes Teves, which is, it says about Teves, it's a cold month. And being that Teves is a cold month, a physical body enjoys being with another physical body, to give it warmth. So, says the Rebbe, but what it really means is that the body of the Nivra, our physical body, enjoys the Reibenzach of the Ebershter's quote-unquote body, which represents an ultimate connection and Pashat unity even on a physical level. Not strong to the Ebershter's physical, but the idea is that it's revealed Pashat down here. Moving on to the next month, it's also connected to the Kesser of Shvat. All the Torah and Avodah of the Friedrich Rebbe is revealed on the day of his Ilula, on Yud Shvat. So Chav Shvat, the month of Shvat has in it the entire Avodah of the Friedrich Rebbe. וכן הכסד החודשים של האחר זה עד לסיום של שנת הצדק במעשה ידינו כהננו בניין בית המקדש השלישי על ידי המלך המשיח, to the point that it will continue with all the kesed of all of the months. Chassidim and Medayek, that the Rebbe stops by other. Some Chassidim want to connect it to the fact that Chav Zayin Adar happened, and some other sichos we see that the Rebbe Taka goes through different months, like the Rebbe just did now, but the Rebbe casually sometimes skips over other. Whatever. Some Chassidim say it's because Chav Zayin Adar. Whatever it is. Anyhow, point is that we're going to reach the end of Shnas Tzadik, which what's the end of Tzadik, the end of the capital Tzadik and Tehillim. Masay Dinu Keren Aleinu, Masay Dinu Keren Neu. Pasha is Galos of the Eibishter in the world, and especially in the third Beis HaMikdash, which is going to be a Beis HaMikdash, which Melech and Beis David, the king, will get up, meaning Melech Mashiach will get up. Zacha Bekesar Malchus Leilu Vanav Ad Eilam V'Beinei HaMikdash Techef Miad Mamesh B'Chai Mar Cheshvan V'Ifnei Chaf Mar Cheshvan Kevan Shekvar Niskayim Asher Kasu V'Vikshu Savayel L'Kein Beis David Malkam Pasha Melech Mashiach Melech Beis David is going to build the Beis HaMikdash. The Rebbe points out that Malchus Beis David, the Kesser of Beis David, goes on to him and all of his children forever. Which, by the way, interesting that the Rebbe is pointing out that the Kesser of Malchus goes to all of his children forever. So it's interesting to know that the Rebbe is Taka in Beis David. Because the point is that we already fulfilled what it was already fulfilled. What it says, that the Yidden asked, what did the Yidden demand? What did the Yidden ask for? Hashem Elokem and David Malcolm, Melech HaMashiach. As we already said in Kiddush Levana of this past month, and we even added the word Amen. That paragraph in Kiddush Levana finishes off with the word Amen, which means that it's for sure going to happen already. Says the Rebbe in Ois Yudalid, Ve'oid v'hu ha'ikar. And here, at this point, this last Ois Yud Gimel, the Rebbe really connected Mashiach to all the different inyonim which are going on, the parasha, in the year, in the month, and they're being connected to the following months, and so on. Now, the Rebbe is going back to the flow of the Sikha. And this last ois is the bomb. It's Pashat bomb. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. If we learn this ois properly, we're Pashat going to be different people. Says the Rebbe, especially Neis Afal Mevor La'el. שקיים es mitzius shel Mashiach benitzos Mashiach pnei yechida shebekol echad ve'echad miYisrael. Until now, we spoke on a very micro level, that every person within himself has a nitzos of Mashiach within him, and the fact that he knows that it's there causes by him a yearning to want to experience it. The fact that he has a yearning to want to experience it causes him to do things about it, and he dedicates every peula of his is befitting to Ma'amid U'Matzav of the Geula, because he wants to already have a Geula of his nitzos Mashiach. Says the Rebbe, but the truth is that this is also true on a global level. There's also the existence of Mashiach kepshutoi. We have Melech HaMashiach kepshutoi. Kayadu, as it's known, שבכל דור ודור נולד אחד מזרע יהודה שהוא ראוי להיות משיח לישראל. It's known that in every generation one is born. Of course, the Rebbe is quoting the famous Bar Nura and the Chasam Sefer. The Rebbe is going to quote in a moment that in every generation there is one person who's born as a descendant of Shevet Yehuda, which that person is befitting to be Mashiach. Every generation has one potential person. That's a given. So do we have the potential Mashiach? That's for sure. That's not the chiddush of the Sikha. Echad Roy Mitzid Kasa, in other words, we went to Chasam Sefer, to the quote from Chasam Sefer. Echad Roy Mitzid Kasa Lias Goyal. One person, was his level, he's befitting to be the Goyal. And when the time comes, Hashem will reveal himself to this individual and send him off to go reveal himself as Melech Mashiach. And if not for the fact that undesired things mix in, he would have already, that potential Mashiach would have already revealed himself 100%. Okay, so the Rebbe is building this up. The Rebbe starts off by laying the fact that we already have the Metzius of Mashiach Kipshutai. The next step the Rebbe says is that Bechlal, across the board of history, every single generation has Echad Arai Mitzid Kosei to be Mashiach. Now the Rebbe is moving on to the third step. Mashiach shebederenu, shekvar nistaimu v'nishlemu kol inyane ha'avoda v'emdu muchanim mekabala sprei Mashiach titkenu. And according to what the Friedrich Rebbe Nesiderenu, Mashiach shebederenu says, we already finished all inyane ha'avoda, and we are already ready to do what? In other words, what's our new avoda? Kabbalah sprei Mashiach titkenu, to accept Mashiach, to greet Mashiach. As the Rebbe says, that really every generation has somebody that's potentially Mashiach. Elamai, why was he not revealed? Because there are negative things which were nisarev, which mixed in. But says the Rebbe, being that we already finished our Avodah, so all the different inyanim which were me'akiv, that potential Mashiach from being revealed as Mashiach, was already taken away. In other words, there's no more minyas in Ikuvim which are stopping the potential Mashiach from being revealed. So we have not just the existence of Mashiach, in other words, but the potential, but we even have the revelation of Mashiach. And now all we have to do is to parashat be mekabel him. It's great. Unbelievable. The Rebbe is telling us, not just do we have the mitzius of our neshama, not just do we have the mitzius of the nitzos Mashiach within us, and furthermore, not just do we have the mitzius, which in other words means like the potential person of Mashiach in the world, but we even have the hisgalus of Mashiach. In other words, Melech Mashiach was already revealed, and what's our job now? To greet him, to accept him. What does it mean the Mashiach is revealed? So we're going to finish the Sikha, and when we finish the Sikha, we'll share a few interesting sources about that. With his sign in the parashat Shavua, or in other words, as the Rebbe, in using the language of the parsha, all we have to do is be mekabel to accept the revelation of vayera Elav Hashem. The Eibishter's vayera, the Eibishter is revealing himself to us. All we have to do is accept his gilui and have create. In other words, I know that there's a mitzius of Hashem. I know that the Eibishter is revealing himself to me. That itself causes by me a yearning to want to experience that. And now I'm going to do whatever I can to accept that gilui. Same thing is with Mashiach. In other words, everybody's borrowing the terminology of the parsha, using it about Mashiach. All we have to do is be mekabel the gilui of vayera Elav Hashem, sign on a personal level and sign even of Mar Cheshvan, meaning in the entire world. As it says, every single pole, everything that exists in this world that's a result of the Eibishter's creation, will know that Hashem is his creator. Everything in the world, it will be noticeable that you, the Eibishter, created it. To the point that even a fig will be screaming out if it sees something which is not in accordance with what Hashem wants. And even a stone is going to be screaming. And for sure the Yidden are going to be able to, if a fig recognizes Hashem, and a daimim, like a stone could recognize Hashem, for sure Yidden are going to be recognizing Hashem and saying, Hine Elokeinu Zeh. Hine, of course, means I could point on it. Says that being that we understand this, we have the mitzios of Mashiach in the world. That is Gaus of Mashiach in the world, where we pasha don't space out. Why would we want to space out? Space out means like think about other things other than the Geula. Everything that a person does, everything that a person does, not just holy things, everything. It's penetrated with Inyan Geula, Mashiach Geula. Everything. Even when a person eats and drinks. And now the Rebbe is going to give a very interesting example of how eating and drinking is how a person could eat in a way that his mind is with the Gula Amitis Vashlema. How? The person is partially yearning to have the Suud of a Livyason. He is partially yearning for the Sharabar. He is partially yearning for the Yain Meshumar. To the point that after finishing to eat, the person remains hungry. Why does he remain hungry? Because in his mind, this is not the real meal. So what if I ate a steak? What if I ate a lamb chops? What if I ate delicious salad? I want the Sharabar Livyason. That's what I'm really looking for. So the person remains hungry even after finishing to eat. Because again, in his mind, he's thinking, when he sees food, what does he think of? He thinks of one thing, which is the meal which is going to happen when Mashiach comes. And to the point that the Yid has a time on the Eibishter. I want to bench. Part of benching is that I'm satisfied, but I'm not satisfied. Why am I not satisfied? I'm not satisfied because I'm still hungry for the Shara B'Relev Yosam. It's the other time on the Eibishter. And right away the Eibishter fulfills his request. And right away on Parashat Vayera, meaning that was referring to that day. In other words, right away on that day, that the Yid is going to request us and have his time on the Eibishter will fulfill his request, especially for standing an opportune time. As the Rebbe says, that's when the Farbrengen was taking place during the Suda Shlishis time, which is connected to the third Beis HaMikdash and then the third Geula and so on. Kedrash as Chazal tell us, Mai Dechsiv Parshas Vayera, Vayigdal Hayelid Vaygamal. It says in Parshas Vayera about Yitzchak, Vayigdal Hayelid Vaygamal. The kid stopped nursing, he graduated, he could eat on his own. But what it means is, Chazal tell us, that's where we learn the famous concept of so the Rebbe says over here, the Chazal say that the Eibush is going to make a meal for the tzaddikim, and the Eibush, the Eibush is going to be goymel chesed with Yitzchak's descendants, because the pasuk the Gamal referring to Yitzchak, so the Chazal darshan it that his descendants, the Eibush is going to be goymel with them a chesed, and give them a tremendous suuda. And the Achra Sheikh Meshaisin, Emir Lakash Baruch David tell Kaisel Bracha V'Baruch Emir Lahen and Yavarach V'Dinay Levarach Shneimar Kais Yeshuas Esav Shem Shemeka. The Eibush turns to David the Melech and he tells him, "You make the bracha." The Medrash actually describes at length how the Eibush goes from tzaddik to tzaddik to lead the zimun, and everyone rejects the offer. Until he comes to David the Melech. David the Melech says, "Sure, I'll make the bracha the zimun and Linoy Levarach." And it's not going to be fitting for me to make the bracha the zimun. So the point is, the Rebbe is connecting the Suda Shal of Yasan, which was an example that the Rebbe gave for food, that when a person eats, he's so penetrated with Mashiach and Geula that he remains hungry. The Rebbe connects it to the Parashas Vayera, which that's what the source of the Suda Shal of Yasan is sourced from that pasuk of Vayera the Gamal. Vayikar says that for the last paragraph of the Sikha, Shekol Zeh Yeh Begolu Yvepoel Mamish Marabetz Boy Vermerzeh. All this should happen Begolu Yvepoel, that we could point in it with our finger, because the whole point of the Sikha there is saying that we have the Mitzias, we have these galos, we have to do Pashat, all we have to do is be Mekabelet. In other words, Pashat see it with our own physical eyes. Hinazeh Melech Mashiach Ba, we could point in it and say Hinazeh Mashiach Ba, meaning he already came. V'hinechak v'chadmer Nesiderenu, Hakitzav Ranu Shechnafar, Vihine Lekenu Zavai Kivinu Lena Gilovnis Bechabishuasai. And look, and here's the Friedrich Rebbe, because Hakitzav Ranu Shechnafar, and here's the Eibishter, and this is the Vai that we were waiting for, and we're going to rejoice with the fact that he's redeeming us. Simchas Gyula Mitis Vashlema Vegalo Vepel Mamish. Finally, the ultimate Simcha of the Gyula Mitis Vashlema, the most Payal Mamish the way. And the Rebbe concludes by saying, "She'az mevarchim aleya," that's when we're going to make the bracha. Shechiyanu v'kiyimanu v'giyanu l'zman hazeh. Moshiach comes, we're going to make the bracha of Shechiyanu v'kiyimanu v'giyanu l'zman hazeh. So to summarize this whole last part of this whole second part of the Sikha, the Rebbe says that we already have the mitzias of Nitus Mashiach within every single Yid within himself has a Nitus Mashiach, and all we have to do is to become aware that we have the Nitus Mashiach within us. The awareness that is there causes by us a yearning to want to reveal it. The yearning to want to reveal it causes us to do whatever we can to already start living it. Through every, as the Rebbe says, through every pi'ula being befitting to a ma'amedu matzav of the Geula Amitis Vashlema, as we spoke about at length earlier on. The Rebbe took it to the next step. The Rebbe, of course, connected it all to Tafshinun Beis, into the Sikh, into the Parasha, into the date of the month, how it's all Geuladik, and of course, primarily to the Rebbe Rashab, that this is the whole part of the Rebbe Rashab. The Rashab was to reveal Chassidus, in other words, to have a Gilui of the Eibishter, but not Stam, a Gilui of the Eibishter on a micro level, but furthermore, a Gilui of the Eibishter with Temchet Mimim, which their job is, to be Chayala Beis David, to fight the wars of David Malka Mashiach, and to fight the battle of Mashiach, to reveal Mashiach in the world, through learning Chassidus and so on. And then the Rebbe, and then the Sikha lays down the final bomb, which is that same thing is regarding Melech HaMashiach himself. Melech HaMashiach, we already have the Metzius of Melech HaMashiach, which is the potential Mashiach, and that's true across the board in every generation. The Chiddush of our generation says, the Rebbe, is not just we have the Metzius of Mashiach in the world, meaning the potential Mashiach, but we already have the Hisgalus of Melech HaMashiach in the world. And of course, the fact that we know that this is true, that there's a Metzius of Mashiach in the world, and there's the Hisgalus of Mashiach in the world, which that's something which never happened before in history, that itself causes by us a tremendous yearning to want to already be Mekabel him. To want to already, like, if it's already here, it's already happening, I want to see it, I want to experience it. And of course, that yearning causes us to do whatever we can to already start living that way, not just to do things to bring him. If you notice in the Sikha, the Rebbe is not so much focusing on to do things to bring him. The Rebbe is more taking for granted that it's already happening, but the Rebbe's focus is more that a person starts living that way. Or in the Rebbe's words, Shemaisav are chadurim beinyane Mashiach v'geula, that a person starts living that way already. And the Rebbe even gives us an example, that when a person eats, in his mind, he's so focused on the geula, that in his mind, he's still hungry, and he's like, I'm not satisfied, and I can't even say v'achalta v'savata, because I'm not physically, maybe I'm full, but I'm not satisfied with this food, because I'm looking for a different type of food altogether. We said we're going to address a little bit what different sources of what it means that Mashiach is already revealed. So first of all, it means a Pashas Mamish. The Rebbe is of course Melech HaMashiach, as the Rebbe says clearly. And this Sikha, the Nasi Adar is Mashiach Shebadir, and of course the Rebbe is our Nasi Adar. And actually, Chav Cheshvan, which is within 3 days from the Sikha, the Rebbe actually gave, the famous Kuntras was published, Kuntras based on Rabbeinu Shem Bavel, which of course in that Sikha, Shluchim coming in against Shluchim, they were going crazy at that time. The Rebbe is Pasha talking as that clear verter, such clear words about himself, being Melech HaMashiach. And at 770 is based on Rabbeinu Shem Bavel, and the base of Midrash will first come to 770, and only from there to Yerushalayim. Mamish great. So the Hisgalus Mashiach means on the most basic level. Suddenly, the Rebbe, on a very public way, is announcing to the world that he's Melech HaMashiach. And us Chassidim have the ability is the wrong word. We have the privilege, we have the responsibility, but of course the privilege to be Mekabel Mashiach and to say, wow, I already have, not just my Yemaisa Mashiach, but I already have Melech HaMashiach. Which again, the Rebbe says it in the most clear words possible in this Sikha, but primarily in Kuntus Rabbeinu Shem Bavel, the Rebbe addresses himself, meaning talking about himself. So, in the words of the Sikha, we have to be chodor that now that I know the Rebbe is Melech HaMashiach, and that we're already in the times of Mashiach, how is my behavior supposed to look? How is my eating supposed to look? How is my walking down the street supposed to look? How is my interactions with the Yidden supposed to look? How is my interactions with Goyim supposed to look? Knowing that I'm Pashat in Yemaisa Mashiach and I already have Melech HaMashiach revealed. But another very interesting source regarding this idea of Metzius of Melech HaMashiach is that we know that when Moshe Rabbeinu was revealed to the Yidden, there's 3 steps. And this is brought down from the Chasam Sofer, if I'm not mistaken. I just went through it mamish before. I don't remember. I believe it was the Chasam Sofer that he says that Moshe Rabbeinu had 3 steps in his revelation as Mashiach. And the first step was, of course, going to the potential. Moshe Rabbeinu, there was an existence of a Moshe Rabbeinu, of a potential Mashiach, a potential person, to redeemer of the Jews. Then came the Sneh, and the Sneh is where the Eibusha tells Moshe Rabbeinu, okay, we're going to do this. And then comes the last step with the Moshe Rabbeinu. Where Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, not just that we're going to do this, not just that you're the one which is going to do it. Furthermore, I mean, not just as Moshe Rabbeinu get an announcement that you're going to be the person to do it, but furthermore is that it's happening Pe'al Mamish. In other words, the Hisgalus of Mashiach could mean 2 things, and they're both true. It could mean, number 1, that the person Mashiach reveals himself to the world, and now the world becomes aware that it's Mashiach. And number 2, what it means is that the Eibishter reveals himself to Melech HaMashiach. That suddenly, Melech HaMashiach gets the announcement from the Eibishter that you're not just potentially Mashiach, you're actually Mashiach, and you're going to actually do the job of redeeming the Yidden. all this being said, it's all the same idea. We're not changing anything. On the contrary, we're just adding a little bit more of a depth of what this means. Is that we already have the Galus and Moshiach amongst us. Side the Eibush revealed himself to the Rebbe. Side the Rebbe revealed himself to us. And what this means for us practically is to have, as the Rebbe says in Sicha, Simchas HaGeula, to be so joyful that we're billionaires, beruchnius and begashmius, because we're in the sense that we're pashat in Yemais Moshiach and we have Moshiach. Our iskashus to the Rebbe is a whole different type of iskashus. Our devotion to the Rebbe is a whole different type of devotion. Our perspective on the world and on everything that happens in our life is a whole different perspective. Now do we know that we're pashat in Yemais Moshiach and we have Moshiach guiding us. And he already revealed himself to us. All we have to do is mekabel him. We have to just accept this. We have to stop looking at it as a philosophical thing. We definitely have to stop looking at it as a political thing. And to start just looking at it as this is a fact. It's a fact. And let's live it. Let's allow ourselves to let go and to live in Yemais Mashiach with no kina and tachros, without letting our ego getting in our way. It's an avoida. It's not easy. But this has to be the way we live. And we're going to see, as the Rebbe Shah, as the famous thing, how do you know something is coming from Kedusha or not? If it's adding an avodas Hashem. People all the time have a taina, wow, such extreme movement. But when you see that this is what gets us to upgrade our avodas Hashem in the most crazy way. We decide to upgrade our Avos Yisrael, stop to upgrade the way we daven, the way we learn, the way we conduct ourselves in a physical world, the way we talk to Goyim. We're upgraded to be a whole different type of a yid. We're a Mashiach the Yid, we're a Geula the Yid, and the Rebbe is Malach Mashiach. So we're full of that Simchas HaGeula, and we're mekabel it, we accept it, we embrace it, and we act upon it. Of course, that is the ultimate way of how we're going to reveal the Rebbe. The Pashas Mamish B'nei Basar. To see it, to live it, Chaim Livracha.